I'm Sophia Eckler, and I'm going to be talking about how sexual orientation, or how does sexual orientation matter. Now, we have Stacy and Blitz that explore how the sexual orientation of parents might or might not affect the children's development and well-being of their children. Now, they dive into this existing research looking at factors like gender identity, sexual behavior, psychological adjustments in children, and what it's like being raised by the same-sex parents compared to those that raised by heterosexual parents. Now, the core of their argument in that evidence doesn't strongly support that the sexual orientation of the parents has a significant impact on the children. Now, they acknowledge some differences that may appear often small, inconsistent, and that can be, attributes to other factors like their status in their social life, the quality of the parent-children relationship, or their stigma that the same-sex parents might might face rather than, how the emphasis on the reality is like the quality of parenting. Now, things like love and support and stability affect discipline rather than, the parent's sexual orientation. Now, a personal connection is that I have a close friend. I won't say her name, but let's just call her Dorothy or something. Let's just say Dorothy, who was raised by two mothers. Now, it's not, she was raised by two mothers, and now growing up, she sometimes faced, insensitive questions or assumptions from people who didn't understand her family. It was more of them not understanding her family structure than not understanding her family, because everyone's family is different. But however, she always had a very strong sense of security and love with the family, and her mothers were incredibly supportive of really anything, her interests. They'd always be there to help her at school. They'd always, create a stable environment, and they always really nurtured her. And despite an external challenge, she really thrived. She excelled academically and had a strong friendship and development, and was very, very confident and a well-adjusted adult. Now, seeing her firsthand, reality, the truth of the matter is that quality of the parent, not the well-being, regardless of the parent's sexual orientation. And going back to Stacy and Bliss, now the article relates to her experience because the article's conclusion that the parent's sexual orientation isn't really the factor in a child's development. It aligns perfectly with what I've witnessed and, the positive outcome that my friend has had and how she faced things. And it's sort of a societal bias from many views and what people put out there these days. Now, the article also acknowledges a potential factor influencing children raised by the parents. And ultimately, my friend's story underscores the article because it's a good parenting transcends sexual orientation, because she really did get parented really well.